Okay, I'm going to replace a injector on a 2011 Evinrude 225. Some tools I use is a 14 millimeter for the injector hold down screws. A 9/16 will work as well. The 14 millimeter is a little tighter. I also use an 11 millimeter for taking a coil pack off to get it out of the way. A 7/16 will work too, but it's a little looser. First thing we're going to have to do, the reason we're taking the coil pack off is because there's a hold down screw for your injector feed and return lines. That's got to come out, and you can't get to it with this in the way, so that's got to come out. Some of the other tools I got: the ratchet, a torque wrench set for 25 foot-pounds. The specs call for between 24 and 26 for the injector hold down bolts. You may not need these, I'll explain why in a minute. A 5/16 socket for the hold down screw on the fuel rails. Maybe some tie wraps or some of these little bendy things to hold things out of your way. And that's the majority of the tool list. I'm going to set the camera up and we'll start taking this apart. Something I didn't mention. If you have to do well, this is on a V6. I had to replace number 5 on the others actually I replaced that one. In order to get to that one, you got to take your lower cowling off. You cannot get to it. The top 4 you can get to with just taking your top engine cover off. This is why I use the wire cutters, because all of my wires and hoses, or at least the majority of them, I tie wrap them to something. Because in my experience, the less your wires and hoses are moving around, the less trouble you'll have with them. Move this stuff out of your way. And you get your 5/16. That injector fuel line screw is what I'm taking out right now. I showed you up here. Careful you don't drop this screw. It's going down there. Almost dropped it, but I didn't. Whew. That's something you gotta be careful of. I mean, you can get it out, but you just gotta. I gotta take this cover off. Okay. This is the bracket that's I just took the screw out of. It holds these lines in, your fuel injector line. I'm going to unclip this. This is the harness for the fuel injector. This is something that, this is the third injector I've done, but I've found that good idea to wire this thing or somehow attach it up out of your way. Sometimes these pop out, sometimes they won't. Just pry it. Some kind of tool I use, a flat screwdriver, just put a little pressure on it. Got one here. Got one in the back. Alright, both of them are loose. Millimeter for injector housing screw. Like I said, 14. Nice and snug. With a new injector, you get new bolts. My first injector, I reused the old bolts, forgetting to put the new ones in. I always mark my injector to which cylinder in, that way I can just instantly look at it and know which cylinder that is. Just because I'm not a mechanic, I deal with this every day. Okay, fuel lines are pulled out, bolts are out, this should slide right out. Actually, that was the wrong line. I tapped up there. I'm supposed to use the other one. That's the injector. All that funk there, probably what's wrong with it. Got to bring my rag. New injector. Hold down bolts. I do not know why they give you this. I never used it. New bolt and washer. The old bolts are prettier. I don't know what that black funk is on them. This is the first time I've done this, wiring this thing back. It's because of the problems I had with the first two. They call this an insulator. It's like a little plastic gasket. It goes between your head and the injector. Pop these two things out. spray. Oh, you gotta take this off. You don't want that on there. All right. Okay, I'm already doing this wrong. This needs to go above the injector. Or above your fuel lines, I'm sorry. Yeah. This connector to your injector goes above the fuel lines. That's where I screwed up. I gotta take one off on the other side because I went underneath and I got this wire is kind of pinched in here. I don't like that. That goes above. It's not a hard job, it's just a tight area to work in. For me, anyway. Okay, this is going above the injector, and so is the line up here. Both of these need to be up. Oh, I already forgot something. In the old injector, you gotta take this bracket off. I think for 300 bucks they'd supply you the new bracket, but you gotta reuse your old one. It just comes out of there. You have to look, make sure you get it oriented right. That's what I was just doing. Comparing it to the other one. That goes like that. Snaps in there like that. Actually, I put it on wrong. This goes on this side of it. Keep looking at stuff you haven't taken apart yet. Find out what you're doing wrong as you're doing it. The first time I did this, I didn't have this back line all the way in, and I didn't get it caught with the clamp. And I had a leak. I had to redo it. That's a heads up. I think I got it. But that's something to check, is make sure this clamp grab that back one. You can see this real good, but the one back there you can't see it hardly at all. Oh no. And of course it had to be that in. Well, looks like I'm going to have to remove the lower cowling. Learn from my mistakes. A little seal around there, a yellow seal, just fell off and went down there. And I don't see it. I already have the other side off because I just recently replaced my water pump. I do not see. Oh, there it is. It's way weird. I'll do that later. This might turn out to be a great how not to video. Oh. Grab some paper. Put it around this hold down screw for your injector. And it'll hold your bolt in there better so you're less likely to lose it.